All right, guys, over the next 10 minutes or so, I'm gonna walk you through how this store right here is consistently generating about $1,000 a day or more in revenue with 25 to 35% profit margins depending on the day. Now, it's been doing this every single day of the month, and now we're getting into a point of Q4. October 1st is when it starts. You know, there's 4 quarters in a year, 3 months each, and now we're getting into the biggest time for e-commerce to actually get started and really scale and build things up in this space, because we have all these different holidays and days that you can utilize as selling points to bring in more customers, provide more value through your products, and everyone's happy. That's the goal. That's what e-commerce really is. And you know, think about all the days we got coming into Q4. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas is a big one, and then New Year's. You know, some of these are more focused in on America, some are global, but overall, there's a lot of big advantage points. And you know, I want to touch on real quick here just about drop shipping in 2019. You know, getting into late 2019 now, it feels like this year has gone by super fast. You know, a lot of things have changed, and over the past couple of months, I've been managing at a time 10 plus different stores for clients and students to help them maintain and scale through different types of paid traffic and even free sources of traffic, SMS and email. We'll get into that a little bit later on through this video, but really how to build something up that is consistent. You know, we're not just looking for one 5K day, 10K day, or anything like that. You know, we want to find something sustainable. And I think right now I wanted to make this video because a lot of you guys are missing out, and I want to give you a perfect guide to building something sustainable and profitable during Q4. You know, even if you haven't started an e-commerce store, dropshipping isn't dead, it's not over. You just need to know how to utilize your resources. And the first resource I want to talk about is just videos, you know, of how much videos and content there actually is out there, free or paid, that you can utilize to help build your own store. I honestly don't like how a lot of people watch videos of mine or, you know, whoever else is, whether it's about dropshipping, e-commerce, or just business in general, constantly watching these videos but never taking action. You know, I was the same way for a long time, not necessarily with videos because there weren't all these business channels, but more of just knowing what's possible. You know, I had an Instagram page with some followers, and I saw companies posting shout outs or doing, you know, influencer shout outs. Now, if they're doing that consistently, they're obviously making money. So, you know, why would I not do that? And I feel like a lot of people watch opportunities go right by them and never actually, you know, grab what they want. And I think, me to you, one thing I wish I told myself a couple of years ago was, don't let procrastination become something every day in your life. You know, allow for you to either do something or tell yourself you're not gonna do it. Because if you know, all right, I can start this business, Q4 is coming up, I can make some money, you know, but I gotta do this, I gotta do that. But you're procrastinating every single day that you put it off, and you're thinking about it, and you're instilling this sense of doubt into your mind every time, instead of just telling yourself you're not going to do it or you're going to do it. If you are going to do it, make a list, take action steps, and follow them. That's the best way to really get after something and take advantage of what's possible. You know, that's really one of the biggest things I wish I told myself a few years ago. But obviously, we all live and learn. There's always going to be opportunities, but right now, the biggest change I would say within dropshipping is that, you know, paid traffic is just getting more and more expensive, and it will continue to be that way just because of how much real estate there is on these different platforms, especially Facebook ads. You know, 2 years ago, it was a lot cheaper than it was now. So I want to make sure you don't miss out. I want to make sure you understand what you can do right now, how to do it, and give you some action steps, because action steps is what it all comes down to, instead of just talking here for 10 minutes, not giving you any real advice or action steps that you can follow to reach this $1,000 a day revenue point that I'm making this video about. So the first thing I really want to touch on is, what products should you actually sell getting into Q4? Now, this obviously can be pretty much anything, but I will say, you know, getting into Q4, testing products, you're gonna have a lot more of a success rate than normal, just because of all these different holidays that you can use as selling points. Now, for me, I had success. My first very successful store was in November, early November of 2017, Q4. And I was able to utilize a holiday. Now, I was selling a novelty item. It was cheap, it cost me a few dollars and had maybe $10 to $15 margin on it. Now, I want you guys to sell something a little bit more, but obviously it depends on your budget. If you don't have a lot of money to test products with, then obviously you want to go with something lower margin, because if you have a bigger budget, then that allows for you to spend more on testing, because we have a $100 margin. Let's say your average cost of purchase may be $50. If it's profitable, then you're gonna have to spend $50 just to see if it'll make a sale or not. And most of the time more if you're just testing a random product that you haven't done your due diligence on. So I wanna give you the first action step, which is gonna be finding an actual product. And there's a lot of ways to do this. The biggest resource I want you to utilize is all of the wholesale supplier platforms that are online that you can look through. Obviously, you don't want to sit there and scroll all day through a ton of different products, but I also wouldn't recommend you just scrolling through Facebook trying to find an ad and then stealing that, because obviously if they're consistently running ads, you see that on Facebook, Instagram, any platform, they're most likely making money. But what if you were able to find a product that hasn't been run all over Instagram and Facebook and all that? You can make a lot more money, and that's anytime, not just Q4. I can't imagine what you could do if you find a new product that you can sell during Q4 that hasn't been blasted all over, the paid traffic avenues. So I have one product I'm ready to launch with one of my students for Q4 that's gonna go crazy, and you guys could do the exact same thing. I'll literally tell you exactly how I found the product and why I know it's going to work. So I was on one of these wholesale supplier websites looking through the categories based off of the price point that I was looking for. I was looking for something higher ticket. So I'm looking at electronics, outdoors, things like that. If you want something lower ticket, you're gonna go look at, maybe some jewelry, some forms of clothes. I wouldn't recommend like t-shirts and all that stuff, but there's a couple of them that you could take advantage of. Hats and shoes could do very well. I've seen them do well before. And then what I'm doing is essentially just going through those different products in those lists, seeing what's selling. So I go to the supplier of what's selling, I'll message them and ask them, hey, we see how many different types of products are selling. Most of the time it's gonna be a specific niche. We'll ask them, hey, what are your top sellers, or what do you think is a product that has a lot of potential that people really just haven't, take advantage of yet? And they'll give you some answers. Sometimes it'll be valuable, sometimes it won't, but it's still a learning process, and you're able to see a lot of what can be utilized that hasn't already been out there, because most of the time there'll be one product that a supplier sells that does really well if it's a very small supplier, and then people just latch onto that and keep selling that, but they don't realize how many other products this supplier has connections to, and maybe even their own products. So this product that I found was specifically in a category that I saw a product was doing well in, that I know has made a lot of money in the past from people, and I messaged them, asked them for similar products that are in the space that could do very well, and what do you know? Found something, and I did all my due diligence across social media platforms, did not find any traces of paid advertising for this product, because it's so specific. Now, when you find a specific product like this, you're gonna have to put a lot more work into actually making the creatives. You actually have to understand the product, what it is, how it sells. Most people just find something, list it, steal someone's subscription, and go from there. But in reality, the more time and effort you put into it, the higher chance you're gonna have of actually making something work. And that's what I want you to do. And to continue this video, trying to keep it a little bit brief, hopefully you get the general idea. If you have questions, just please DM me on Instagram at Tanner Planis, or comment below. I'll make sure to give you an answer. But also, I want to get into the next step, which would be actually setting up your store. And right now, late 2019, dropshipping, e-commerce overall, general store, niche store, one product store, what am I doing? I would most definitely recommend you either go the one product or niche store route. General stores can be good. I've used them in the past and done well. But when you have something that's very specific in a niche, you're able to keep the data a lot cleaner, and sell multiple of those products. Because if I have a general store and I'm running a bunch of different products that are completely different, the overall data is going to be a little bit scattered. But if I have some different specific products, for example, if I have a bike store, I got a little electric bike back there. If I have a bike and I'm selling helmets and I'm selling, let's say, scooters, also, that's pretty similar data in a specific niche, and you can scale a lot easier with that than selling a bike and camera, microphone. So keep things simple. And also, a few quick tips. Over the past couple of months working with clients, I've split tested a lot of styles of product pages and what's worked best and what's not. Now, the one thing that I would not recommend you do that really doesn't work anymore but has in the past is just using all these different pop-ups and scarcity tactics on your website. That's sort of outdated now, and it just doesn't convert as well as it does. A lot of people don't have a good conversion rate, and there's a lot of reasons for why that may be. Obviously, the pop-ups, the copy, the images they're using, the price point. If you want to sell a product, what I've seen do best has just been duplicating the cost. Obviously, if something like super cheap, like $1, you don't want to sell it for $2. But in the general scheme of things, for things that cost like $20 or more that you want to sell, doubling it is usually the best option to go and see something work. So on your product page, there are two main things that I want you to keep in mind. Two little action steps for you that I really want you to focus on. One, I really want you to focus on the copy, which is just the actual description. One little trick, not necessarily a trick, but a little tip that I would recommend that's helped a lot for myself in converting on product pages, just a simple difference I've implemented has been adding GIFs of the specific product. Little demonstrations of it. Most people don't want to read long descriptions. Don't keep your description super long. Keep it to the point, use a couple sentences, some bullet points, some GIFs, and make sure that the product is understood and all the uses are explained, because that will limit the questions that people have and just give them more reasons to go ahead and buy it, instead of questioning, oh, I wonder if it does this, I wonder if it does that, and then should I email them, should I not, and then having to wait for them to email back, and then all of that. You want to keep things as simple as possible. Now, keeping things simple as possible leads into the second thing I want you to keep in mind, which is, are you selling one product or you're trying to get them to buy more products? Because if you're trying to sell one product here, you're testing a product, I would most definitely recommend you use a buy now button. If you're not doing upsells or want to sell anything else on your store, then make sure you have dynamic checkout so people can go directly to the cart and check out, not the cart, just the checkout page I meant. Because if you think about it, if you're selling one product, say I'm selling that little bike back there and I just want to sell that bike, no upsells, nothing, I just want them to buy it. I'm going to make sure dynamic checkout is on, because if it's not, you're giving these potential customers another step they have to go through of adding to cart, go into the cart, and then checking out, instead of just going directly to the checkout. Think about it, if you're going to the grocery store and you're going for one thing. All right, I'm going to the grocery store to buy some chicken. You're not going to go there, get a cart, drive around all the aisles, and then get your chicken, drive that huge cart with one little package of chicken all the way to checkout and go through all that process. You're gonna go, you walk in, grab the chicken, leave. Obviously you pay for it, but you get what I mean with your store. You don't want to have that extra step in the way of people having to get a cart just to buy that one item that you want them to buy. That can help a lot with your conversion rate, but also at the same time, if you want to increase your average order value, you want to use upsells. Now, if you want to find a quick upsell product, 5-second tip, go to Amazon, search up whatever product you're selling. If it's there, see what similar items they recommend you, find it with your supplier, and I would always recommend any product you upsell or downsell, make sure it's sold from the same supplier, so that way they can match them up and ship at the same time. Keep constant communication with your supplier. It's one of the biggest tips I would recommend for negotiating prices, shipping, and product quality, of course. And now, how are you actually going to advertise this? I'm going to give you a quick product testing strategy I would recommend that's done very well for myself and clients in the past, is using multiple creatives. We're doing one campaign, 5 to 10 ad sets each, with 4 creatives under each ad set. Now, what this allows to do is Facebook to spread the ad spend across multiple different creatives to see which one is working the best. Now, first thing I'll usually test is just the video or image, depending on the product, and then you test the ad copy, and then you're left with a super strong creative. So I've talked about this in past videos before if you want to go watch it, but that's just a brief explanation on what I would do for Facebook as far as that goes. But the more important things I want to go on, because Facebook ads and all that stuff, I could talk about strategies for days, things that have worked for me. I do in my past videos. If you want some, drop it in the comments. I'll find a strategy depending on your situation, what you need, and make a video. But what I want you guys to really utilize here in Q4 is more of the back-end marketing, which is SMS, emails, whatever else you want to do, Messenger. But SMS and emails are going to be the biggest ones to utilize during the holiday season. Always have abandoned checkouts set up for those. If you don't know, I would recommend a quick app for SMS called SMS Bump. You collect phone numbers, they opt in, it'll show all the instructions when you sign up, and then you're able to actually send people broadcasts like emails, but text messages, you're getting like 85-90% open rate compared to emails. You're getting like 20 to 30% just because of how many people send emails. So if you're offering exclusive access to a product price or whatever, some bundle, then you're gonna have a lot more of an open rate. And most of the time, if you do this correctly, you're doing about one broadcast a week separately from the emails and SMS, then you can bring in an extra 20 to 30% in revenue, ad spend free, just by utilizing these two. But make sure, the biggest thing that's gonna help you in Q4 is leveraging these different holidays and whatever you want to call them. So use it on your store banner for whatever the most recent holiday is. Use it in your ad copy, your store banners. Use it in your product titles. Thanksgiving sale, Christmas sale, Black Friday sale. Add a little timer. I don't like timers that much, but during the season, you can do a lot with it. Halloween sale right here, ending in 31 days. Don't make it all caps. Don't make it spammy. Just give them the value. Show them why you're selling this at this discounted price and why it makes sense for them to buy. Give them a reason. Don't try and defer them through a bunch of scarcity tactics that'll scare them away. Get them intrigued. Get them to go through the funnel process and buy what they're looking for. If you have questions, DM me on Instagram, drop a comment below, whatever you want to do. If there's a lot of similar questions that I get, I'll make a follow-up video more in depth. But I want this to be a general idea and understanding for you guys that are already making money or not making money, of which you can utilize here in Q4 coming up soon. So I appreciate you all watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.